Christabel Mwango, and I welcome you to this short interview just to learn about carbon credits. We hear you are the expert, and so we just want you to teach the communities and the world out there just what is carbon credit in your own words.
Okay, my name is Christabel Mwango. I am the chairperson of Bacha Community Resources Board, which is at the same time the Community Forest Management Group. Yeah, and I think the carbon credits is something very new, especially here in Africa. I don't know, maybe world at large, especially to a layman, it's very difficult to understand. Because I remember there was a conference, it was in Paris in 2012. Yeah, in 2012 where world leaders met. They saw to it that we've got many problems which is affecting our environment. And from that, then leaders signed, agreed that they have to do something. So one of the leaders was president from Zambia. And Zambia said, no, we cannot be left. Since the environment and the world at large, especially here in Africa, since we're very poor, the climate change has affected us because of being poor. You know, sometimes when you are poor, everything goes on, comes to you. Whatever problem, you are the first to be affected. So Zambia was one of the countries that signed to be part of that project. And here they put that to the community. Let me say here in Rufunsa, since the government cannot take all the necessary requirements to do that, they advertised, and there were some companies which applied in order to help the government mitigate climate change. So climate change came about because of the environment have been destroyed especially by the countries from, let me say, the developed countries.
Yes.
There are countries which I cannot mention, but they are a very, very big producer of greenhouse gases,
yes,
which goes into the atmosphere. And since according to science, the way I understand it, according to science, these trees which are here, which we see, especially indigenous trees, are there to help clean all the gases in the atmosphere. So those trees, most of the trees are found here in Africa. Yeah. So trees, because of the development which is taking place in other countries, they don't have those indigenous trees, especially the forest. They have, some countries have, but not all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So Africa was identified that is one of the continents which have these indigenous trees. And one of the countries is Zambia. Zambia, and here in Rufunsa is one of the districts, or let me say, in our case, the chiefdom.
Okay.
So there were other companies which came on board to come and help the government, and they applied to government to do this project in Zambia. And one of the companies which we are with at the moment is Biocarbon Partners. This is the social enterprise company.
Okay.
It is there to make profit
Okay.
out of climate change. So we partnered with them. But before partnering with them, we applied to Forest Department. That Forest Department by that time was under Ministry of Land and Natural Resources. But currently it is under Green Economy. So we applied for us to be recognized as a community forest management group. And we applied for rights.
Okay.
Yeah, for user rights in that forest.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the rights we applied, it was not included, but we applied that, please, can we, at the same time, as we are protecting the forest, and at the same time, as we are trying to sell forest products, so give us the right to sell carbon. So we are given that right.
Oh wow, that's interesting to know. So what does that mean for the community? What benefit does the community get out of you selling the carbon out of that preserved forest?
Yeah. So after getting that right, we also engage BCP, who are the expertise, who have all those resources. Because we are the community, we cannot go maybe outside to go and solicit for buyers of that carbon, because that is a voluntary trade.
Okay.
Yeah. Carbon partners come on our way, and we started trading the carbons. Now, the community have to see the benefit which are coming from the forest, from selling carbon.
Okay.
So I would like to mention to you that since we started, what I've seen as being the leader of the Community Forest Management Group of Mpansha, I would like to mention that we have done a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah. So out of these things, I can mention but a few.
Okay.
For example, the community, like for this year, we have bought about 10 iron ship giving to 600 households within the chiefdom.
Okay.
This year.
All right.
We have drilled about 12 boreholes. This for this year. But in total, if I count all those boreholes we have done, it's about 50.
Okay.
50 boreholes. And we also empowered there's a community in Kamwensha. We empowered them with 2,000 each household, about 200 households. Okay. And even in Chipeketi, we did the same, about 200 households. And there's a community somewhere there in Mulamba. We bought about 20 buffalo bicycle for each and every household.
That's very interesting. Yeah. My next question, just not to cut you short, I know that many people hear about carbon credit. So in your other initiatives that you have done out of this, have you taught the community what carbon credit trading is all about? If we were to go in the community and ask random people about what they know, what carbon credit is, do you think the community members know what it is? I just want to know if there's enough education or sensitization that goes towards people understanding what they are selling.
Yes. If you pick somebody randomly, I'm sure they are able to explain. But I can assure you that not three of them understand what carbon credit and how it's being sold. But what they know is that we are selling carbon. That's what they know. Yes. We are selling carbon and we're benefiting from it.
Yes.
Even this issue of carbon credit, even somebody, madam, let me tell you the truth, from the University of Zambia, don't understand this thing. If you go just there, maybe at the council and ask them about carbon credit, very few will be able to tell you about carbon credit. Or they know that carbon, what is carbon? What is carbon? Just like that. So you have to explain, especially in our area where we have all those high illiteracy levels.
Yes, yes.
It's very difficult for them to understand. But all what they know is that we are protecting the forest and we are generating something from the forest.
How would you want the education levels, the sensitization and awareness to be amplified for every commoner out there? Let me not use the word but for everybody, including me, because I have very little knowledge about it, and I would love to be a person who, at random place, I would be able to explain what carbon credit is and what good it's doing. So what would you want to do to amplify the education in your own words?
Yeah, in my own way, sometimes when I'm trying to explain to people, in my own way, I first of all refer them to the Bible and how those trees, why they came about by God.
Okay.
There must be, we are trying by all means to make sure that they understand according to the layman's understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. So we always try that. So that, in the beginning God created the world and there were trees, these trees have got it. A special thing to do.
Okay.
So sometimes we even give them the example, this is a global community, and there are some what we call greenhouse gases. These emissions are being produced in countries like, for example, we will give them, especially China, where the print of industry. Those things, if they go into the atmosphere, you come up maybe with an example. For example, if you have lived in the village, there is what we call a shelter attached with a roof.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes when you are cooking,
you go into that shelter.
Yeah. When you are cooking, there's that smoke which goes every day.
Yes.
What happened to that? The roof become black.
Okay.
All right. In order for it to clean, how did you do it? You get a broom. You start cleaning. Those trees clean the atmosphere because all these greenhouse gases which are being produced, they don't go anywhere. Apart from going where? Into the atmosphere to go and be stuck there.
Okay. So in a layman's language, I'm getting the picture like those trees are able to sweep the environment, like the atmosphere, and then it's because of that you are using to have or get the money out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, what we normally say that, because we are not the ones who are producing all these emissions.
Okay.
So there are other people who are producing this emission at a large scale.
Yes.
Yeah. We cannot stop them.
Yes.
Once we stop them, meaning they won't have a paradise, they won't have shoes, they won't have school. So in order for them to continue producing what they are doing, they have to give us something. Okay. This is a little token which is coming from there because of the damage they are doing there.
They are doing, okay. Well, it makes sense, and I appreciate the little chat that we've had. I hope to have more discussions with you so that we can continue teaching the world out there what carbon credits are, and especially at the lowest level for anybody else to just understand, to say this can be a good thing if it is understood well, and also if the parameters that are surrounding the trade can also be understood by any person out there. So I really appreciate the chat, and I wish you well, and I hope in your next disbursement they'll give you more than what they're giving you this time. Thank you so much.